My name's Gary and I'm the Hadrian's Wall National Trail Maintenance Ranger, to give him a full title. The trail was opened in 2003 and so it's been in existence about 20 years, and I've been in position for 10 of those years now, which is quite good because in effect we've managed the trail for half its lifetime now. And then grab the screwdriver kit. The goal with a national trail in the very first place is to sort of bring economy into the more rural areas through tourism. So one of the stipulations when we created the National Trail back in 2003 was that the footpath was on a scheduled ancient monument, and then you're going to have access and archaeology and possibly a bit of conflict between the two. So one of the ways that we thought we could manage this would be trying to encourage people to walk in the drier period of the year, and this was where we invented the passport scheme. So it's basically, you can travel all the way along the trail from one side to the other, and there's 7 stamping stations like this one at the Robin Hood, and then you'd get a stamp, and at the end of the walk you could use the stamping passport to gain yourself a certificate. And as this is the 20th anniversary of the trail, we've actually got inside the box, if you can sort of see, we've got a stamp, but then we have an additional new stamp which celebrates it. So in the olden days, if I go ahead and do this one, we'll find the Robin Hood. We say over 10,000 people finish it per year. It's about 84 miles long, and in effect you could think of my job as being the 2 metres of its width. 20th anniversary special. We differ from many of the other national trails in that predominantly we sit on a scheduled ancient monument. So if we just strip it back to the basics, your national trail is a footpath and you've got a right to use that footpath. But that footpath lies upon a scheduled ancient monument and we haven't got a right to damage that monument. So that's where one of the main parts of my job is to mitigate the access over the archaeology. And the way we tend to do that is through the membrane of grass. So if we imagine what's underground and we imagine the people above ground, and the only thing that stops one from meeting the other is the surface they walk upon. So the way we manage the surface, it helps alleviate the impact of visitors on the monument. And there's a lot of other little things that you can do with vegetation management and just sort of clearing lines that people can see so that they tend to spread out, which will halve the impact, or even just drawing them towards different areas makes them walk in a certain manner. Once we start grass cutting, it's a bit of a snowball effect, is that it grows and it grows and it grows until sort of hit the peak maybe July, August, and then it's almost a case of once you're finished you'd start putting on the from the beginning again. But then that will begin to sort of wane and you can start reintroducing the practical side of jobs as well. That's it, another job fixed.
Replacement.
I'm going to take this out and put a gate in.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I reckon the gentleman might even let you walk through.
yeah, you can come through if you want. Of course you can. Today we're going to look at sort of improving accessibility. So this gate, the ladder style, is beginning to fail. We need to replace it.
I'm Chris Jones. I'm the Historic Environment Officer for the Northumberland National Park. I'm here to do a little bit of monitoring of some excavation work that's going on. What's happened is that Gary, as part of his role as a trails maintenance ranger, is actually replacing a ladder style, with a gate, and it's all part of a drive to have greater accessibility of rights of way.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you?
How do I get a job like his?
No.
But of course, when we're doing something in such a sensitive site archaeologically, we need to be very, very careful. So we need to make sure that we need to carry out that monitoring. So what we have here is that we had to apply for consent, and the Secretary of State, advised by Historic England, gave that consent, and the consent for Gary to do the works is on the condition that an archaeologist is there to watch those works take place and to record any finds or items that are observed.
Just give it like back and forth, see if you can get it to... We don't want to leave anything in the ground. Just bring it up, out, and then leave it. There you go. So the way we manage, or the way I try and look at it, is that you need to manage in such a way that you're thinking of the 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that the trail's still going to exist when you're not managing it and things. So you've got to kind of look at the year as like maybe a week's worth of work, and you start off at the beginning of the year. We'd do an assessment, so we'd walk the trail, look at all the various structures, ground conditions, things like that, see if anything's changed from the year before, record all this information. Afternoon. And everybody else has had to climb over the stile that we just taken out.
Like I said, service.
Yes,
Thank you.
So it's more of a view like that. That's the way you kind of, because you can't fix all the things that you've discovered in a day or in a week, so you can't think in a day or a week, but you can do something in a year. And if that work in the year takes it off the following year, then the following year in theory should be slightly easier. And then if you do that bit by bit rather than lots at the beginning, you can actually sustainably manage it, especially financially and just time resources and things.
Hello, morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Get up the bottom.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. Squeeze her in.
Right, so that's a wrap. That's 4 days. Spread out really over 4 days, but as you can see, we tied it in quite nicely. The gate's in, it's working, and the way the stone wall sort of fits along the side of it, it doesn't jar with the landscape, so everything is good. Gary's happy. Pull up, push forward. But also we get a lot of Americans and Dutch people come quite early in, and then we get a lot of sort of Germans and sort of the Europeans come in, then we get our lot sort of in the summer holidays, and then you get the Americans come back, and you just think about that, that's a massive amount of movement of people and things. So in a weird way, my job's like the receptionist there, I'm front of house staff, because all the people you meet are on holiday really. And this is a Clayton one, so it's a dry wall, as in no cement, but it's built out of Hadrian's Wall and on Hadrian's Wall, but it's a Victorian wall. So one of the things that I particularly like about my job is that when we meet the visitors, it's quite good to be able to... They've come with the thought of walking Hadrian's Wall, but they don't really know too much about Hadrian's Wall. A lot of them are from overseas, so they don't really know the landscape, as it were. And what you can do is you can give them the skills to be able to start interpreting that landscape, because nothing's really complicated. If you think about the wall, it's just got a north ditch, a wall, and then a south ditch. And if you can find one of those, you can find the other two. It's interesting, I say, there's quite a bit of erosion on the side of there now. And that was the sort of thing, that was one of the highest sections of wall, weren't it, just there?
Oh, here's the tree.
Yeah. There she is. And so you can give them a very basic bit of knowledge, but then for the rest of their journey, they can start actually unpicking the landscape. And a lot of them, I say, because we do see them time and time again, especially if they're walking the way that I'm cutting. I might meet them on a Monday, then a Wednesday, then a Friday. And they really appreciate the fact that they discovered things that they never thought they were going to do. And it's that thing about, you didn't even think about looking for it, but when somebody points it out, it's so obvious, it's hard to miss. And it's that kind of a thing. It's not necessarily to do with the wall, but it's to do with making their experience better.
And then I sent the others ahead as a bit of a game, but because it's quite similar. So how do you find what you're looking for? And you just remember things. And so this one to me looks like you've sat in white paint and then you've done this and put your butt cheeks on the wall. And you're looking for some lichen. This is lichen. It's very white and it looks like two butt cheeks.
Ah.
So if you just wander off down there and find two butt cheeks. And it does look like that. And then it's just to the left of it.
And so what I'm doing is a continuation of something that started nearly 2,000 years ago. And even though if you were to look at it as a line, my bit's only a little pinprick, it's quite rewarding to think that you are part of a slightly bigger thing. And the second thing I do like about the job is what I've just spoken about, is meeting the visitors and sort of making their experience that little bit better. So it's just really rewarding, really, because you get to share this opportunity.